Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is Brendan and here we teach that you can manifest anything if you can believe. Now to help you know how to believe, how to manifest anything you desire, today we want to talk about the mindset you should have going into manifestation. And this can apply to anything you want to manifest, whether it's a relationship, a job, a house, changes to your physical appearance, literally anything. Health, wealth, prosperity, anything you desire, it's all going to come down to your mental or imaginal activity, because as Neville Goddard said, imagination is reality. You can call it mind if you like, but I prefer to call it imagination. But if you hear me say imagination in this video, it's pretty much interchangeable with the word mind. I prefer imagination because if you hear mind, you might begin to think that you are your thoughts, and that's not the case. As a matter of fact, your thoughts, just like your physical circumstances, are merely a product of your state, okay? So your thoughts may cause you to react to things, they may be a part of your reaction to physical circumstances, and they can be a precursor of what's going to come into being because they're telling you the state of consciousness in which you're abiding. So if you're having negative thoughts, it doesn't guarantee that negative circumstances will come, but it's a sign. It can be a precursor, and it's a warning really to yourself to change your mental activity, your imaginal activity. Now we want to talk about the mindset of letting your mind, your imagination, become like a fortress, not allowing anything into the feeling nature of the subconscious mind if it's out of alignment with already having what you desire. Now, the way we do this is by recognizing that the ultimate true reality, capital R, is your imagination, of which this world of mortality is but a shadow. So recognizing this, you're not going to be moved by physical circumstances. You can recognize that no matter what's coming up, if you react to it, right, playing out the former patterns of thought, the former patterns of imagination and reaction and feeling, you're going to create more of that. So no matter what happens, if it's negative in your world, maybe they blocked you, maybe you didn't get the job, maybe the bills are coming up. No matter what it is, don't allow this to make you spiral into negative mental activity, okay? Because if you do, then you're going to be creating more. You're impressing that in the subconscious. You need to have your conscious mind be the watchman at the gate. Mental diet, all right? That's what we cover in the Manifest Anything workshop, which I'll leave a link to in the description and the pinned comment. So allow yourself to recognize that if your mental diet, if you're feeding on mentally negative thoughts, negative feelings, negative situations, whether there are things that happened in what we would call the past, or you're imagining potential negative futures, or you're imagining and identifying with a negative present circumstance, these all need to be omitted from your consciousness, okay? Because you have that freedom. Your freedom is in the choice of what you will feel, what you will think, what you will imagine, okay? No matter what's going on, you do have control of these things. Now, if it's a feeling that's unshakable, right? You're really reacting to negative 3D, or maybe feelings come up without reason and they won't go away. You can't change your mind or imagine anything else. Then sit with the feeling. Where do you feel it in the body? How does it feel to you? Is it in the throat? Is there tension in the muscles? What's going on within you? And just observe it. Don't identify with it. Don't try and run from it. Observe it. Sit with the feeling and let it pass naturally. But don't tie it to anything. Don't say, I'm feeling this terrible feeling because of my physical circumstance, because they blocked me, because of the money in the account, because of the job that they didn't give me. Okay, these are stories, and if you choose to identify with them, then you are making your bed, so to speak. You are choosing your reality, okay? You are allowed to create freely. So that's why you can use revision. Something negative occurred in your world. Once you've moved through the emotions without attaching them to physical circumstance, then you begin to choose anew, completely anew, okay? And you can reimagine what we would call the past, because all time is now. Anything can be changed, whether it's a potential future and you're manifesting it, or whether it seems to be in the past. It's only in your imagination. All there really is this present moment, right here, right now, and everything exists in it simultaneously, because it's all imagination. When you bring anything into your mind, it exists right here and right now. You may think of the moon, but you could imagine it right here in front of you. You could imagine yourself being on the moon, and it is instantly in imagination. In that way, you can recognize that there's no limitation. There's nothing you can't imagine. So if you are denying yourself the opportunity to imagine your wish fulfilled, then you are not going to be able to make it a natural state, which is necessary for the fulfillment of your desire. You have to make your feeling state of your wish fulfilled, of your desire fulfilled, how you would imagine yourself to feel, how you would mentally feel, your mental attitude. You have to make it natural so that it can become your dwelling place, all right? Your habitual state of consciousness. Recognize if your habitual state of consciousness is one of fear, worry, doubt, impatience, that you can eliminate this. This is a choice, okay? But you have to stay on top of it. You have to recognize what's causing you to be triggered, what's causing you to feel fearful, doubtful, worried, and impatient, and why you're allowing yourself to continue believing that if you really know imagination is reality. Imagination, the mind is your real self, and therefore nothing is stopping you from having what you desire right here, right now. If you feel powerless, if you feel like you've taken a long time to manifest this one thing or anything, you have to break your identification with that story. That's another aspect of the mental fortitude we must have. It slips through. Sometimes we don't realize our mental imaginal activity is actually tied to a story we're telling ourselves about ourselves. But you're free to write a new story. Stop saying, I've always had trouble manifesting this thing or that thing, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many times you visualize and it didn't come true. That's not possible to actually believe in that if you know you're all imagination, because there is nothing that does not exist in imagination. Now, if you get the Manifestation Mastery System, then not only do you get the workshop, you also get the entire Detachment Mastery course, which includes an entire trigger checklist, things that you can do to overcome these thoughts of fear, worry, doubt, and impatience, the 4 biggest blocks to manifestation. Of course, I'll leave a link. Now, it may be helpful for you to craft a new story. You can do it by visualizing, affirming, even writing it down and making it your new Bible, so to speak, reading it morning and night. What do you want your story to be? Do you wish that it was always easy to manifest anything, no matter what it is? Or do you want to continue identifying with this limited version of you, this idea, which is just an idea, it's just a state of consciousness? And again, as Neville Goddard said, a state of consciousness is an attitude of mind made up of a body of beliefs. Do you want to continue identifying with the attitude of mind, with the body of beliefs, that you can't have what you want, or that it's very difficult, or that it's never worked? Because if you do, then you're going to remain a victim to circumstance, and you're not really assuming yourself to be God, source, universe, the conscious creator who can have whatever you want whenever you want. Now, some things take time. If you're planning a trip in May, it's going to happen in May. You're not just going to teleport to that point in time unless you have a very serious sense of imagination and that's something you want to do. But when it comes to things like abundance or a new job, a new house, a relationship, these things can come so fast if you can align yourself with actually having it. But you have to recognize and know that when these thoughts of fear, doubt, worry, and impatience creep in, they are completely out of alignment, okay? And the secret to really aligning yourself when you're imagining, whether it's visualization, affirmation, scripting, any form of imaginal activity, is absorption, okay? Neville Goddard said this often. He said, if you will become absorbed in it, then it must come into being. It must come in physical fulfillment. And what this means by absorption is it's not an effort thing. You can't effort yourself into absorption in your imaginal act, no matter what form it is. You have to allow yourself to increase your attention to the point where you completely drop the sense world. You completely drop this physical being identity and you lose yourself in the scene or in the affirmation, in the feeling, really. Whatever imaginal activity you choose, the whole purpose of it is to activate the feeling, the mood, the attitude of mind made up of a body of beliefs within you so that it can become your dwelling place, okay? And you have to recognize that you are always imagining. So that means that if you're living 16 hours a day, not feeling how you would feel if your desire were fulfilled, not thinking from fulfillment, simply thinking of your desires, wishing you had them, thinking from lack, then you are absorbed in lack. And that's going to continue to be true in your world. So allow yourself instead to not just limit your imaginal activity to before sleep. If you had to pick one time, I would say do it before sleep. Watch the mind then. But really you're doing it all the time. This is a huge part of the mental diet, the mental fortitude necessary for you to understand how powerful you are and your method of creation, okay? It's not just sometimes, it's not just when you sit down and meditate. You are always absorbed in a state. So what is it going to be? Is it a state of lack, limitation, worry, fear, doubt, impatience, or are you going to become absorbed in the trust in yourself, capital S, that you would have if you knew all things without limitation are truly possible to you. All things. Nothing can stop you. That has to be the attitude. In my last video, I'll link it in the description, I talked about different ways that you can get into the mindset of the being without limit. The being who not only has everything you desire, but if you were to desire something else, you can create that too, without limit, without a time limit, without anything as any kind of limit, if you really know yourself to be God. So I really just want to push on that point one more time. You are always imagining, okay? So whether you're reacting to someone driving poorly on the road, whether you're reacting to having to spend money on something, flip it. Understand that that's just a perspective and you are imagining. You are using your mental energy to create your future. You are sowing the seeds which you will reap. So what do you want the nature of these seeds which you're going to reap be? Positive or negative? Fulfilled or lacking? You have that choice. So look at all of your thoughts. Be conscious of your mind. If you want to get deeper into that, practice regular meditation without even trying to manifest anything, visualize, affirm, scripting. Just sit and watch the mind. What are the natural thoughts that come up? Observe them. What is the nature? Positive, negative, let them go. Let another thought come up, observe it, positive, negative, let it go. I have a guided practice on that in the Manifestation Mastery System. So allow yourself to do things like this so you get used to watching the mind. Otherwise, you're going to catch yourself in the shower having a mental argument with your partner, your boss, your coworkers, and that's sowing seeds. You don't really want that. Are you imagining and in your mind observing that which you really desire? Because if not, then you're sowing those seeds, you're going to reap them and then say, why God? Why is my life like this? Why am I the victim? You're not a victim. You have never been the victim. Now you're conscious of it. Now you know you've watched this video, so you have to become aware of your mental imaginal activity, and that's how you manifest whatever you desire. So I'm sure you found this helpful. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you're not already. As always, thank you so much for watching. I love you all very much, and I will see you next time. Take care.